you guys, I'm Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be telling you how having confidence will change your physical appearance while I do a get ready with me, do my skincare, do my makeup. So let's get started with the video. I'm going to be doing a get ready with me. As you can see, I don't have anything on my face. It's looking a little bit dry at the moment. I'm going to be doing my skincare and then I'm going to get into the makeup. Before we get into the advice, I just want to say if you're easily offended, you should probably click off this video because I'm going to be a little bit brutally honest. Just a disclaimer because I do not want to offend anybody. A while back, I made a video explaining how you can become confident, like the steps you could take to becoming more confident in yourself if you're not already. So if you guys didn't watch that video, I'll be kind of summarizing some of the things in that video and saying more. When you're young, you're discovering who you are, and everybody goes through that. Like, it's like an awkward stage. Well, maybe not everybody has the awkward ugly stage. For example, my sister, she's only like 14 years old, and she had like one awkward stage that wasn't even ugly, but she was literally like 8 years old at the time. But she's literally only 14 and she's already so beautiful. She has herself figured out, basically. Not fully, obviously, because no one has herself fully figured out, not even when they're 100 years old, okay? But what I mean is she never had like that ugly, awkward stage where you're just a teenager and you're trying to like figure yourself out. And I mean, I can't speak for her, but I can speak from an outsider's perspective. When I was 14, I was not doing makeup. I was not doing any beauty regimens. I was actually a tomboy because I was not confident. So let's get into it. The awkward, ugly stage, I feel like a majority of us go through it. And it can make you feel out of place. It can make you feel like you're not doing something right. And what are these people doing that I'm not doing? Or why do I not look like this certain person? Why can't I be like this certain person? And a big part about having confidence is learning to accept yourself and learn your own self. If you are constantly trying to be like somebody else or like compare yourself, you are not going to allow yourself to discover the person that you are as an individual. Every person has their own little like quirks, their own things that they're good at, their own things that they're not good at. Some people have natural beauty from the time they're literally 14, 13, 10 years old, and they're always beautiful. But other people have to discover what beauty means for them. There's nothing wrong about that. Part of becoming confident is genuinely, like, I don't even think it's part of it. I think the biggest part of becoming confident is learning to accept your own self. And instead of saying, okay, this looks good on this person, or I like this person because they act this certain way, start asking yourself, okay, what do I feel good with? What looks good on my skin tone? What looks good with my hair type? What looks good with my body type? How do I feel comfortable acting? What is my pro personality? Start asking yourself what you actually feel you're most you in. If you don't know, it's okay. If you don't know, you can start trying out different things and that will help you figure yourself out. I'm gonna tell you guys a tiny little bit of how I went through this. So when I was younger, I thought that being feminine was kind of like weakness, like a sign of weakness. That's how you kind of get brought up in school, like, oh, who could pick up the chairs? Like, come help me, come to this like special class with me if you could pick up these chairs. So it's like kind of like exclusion in a way. That's a little bit dramatic because that's not the defining factor that made me act the way I used to act, which was more masculine than feminine. It was also because I felt like from a young age, like I had to kind of look out for myself in a way. That would make me want to protect myself. And obviously, being feminine is being more soft, is being more vulnerable. So I did not want to come across that way for people to see me as vulnerable. So I would act masculine. And for a long time, I relied on that to feel comfortable in my skin, I was also insecure about my body because I would see like other young girls my age having like a more developed body at like 13 years old, and I'd be like, I wish I was more like that. I just wanted to say really quick, especially if you are a young girl, even if you're an older woman, but especially if you're a younger girl, you do not have to feel like you're behind. You do not have to feel like something is wrong with you just if you're young and you see other girls young as well, or older girls, and they are much more developed than you in their body. They look older for their age and all these things. You are perfectly fine. You're normal. Nothing is wrong with you. Sometimes your body just has to go through puberty and mature. Sometimes your body is just literally growing up at its own pace, and that's okay. If you are struggling with like weight issues or things like that, like body image, probably go to therapy. Also, focus on your diet and probably exercise. But if you're very young, probably hold off on like lifting weights or stuff like that. But just look at your diet. Let's say you think that you're overweight, or the doctors have told you you're overweight. Do not like deprive yourself from eating. Like, probably just eat smaller portions. I'm not like a professional at all or anything like that. But the point of me trying to say this is, don't look down on yourself just if your body is going through its natural growing process, because that's what I was doing. When I was literally 15, 16, I was still developing. I was still very skinny. I was literally like 80 pounds. Up until I was like 16, I was like 80 pounds. And now I'm still pretty skinny, but I'm definitely not as skinny as I was then. I've also like developed a bit more and things like that. But all of that is just outward appearance, and that will develop and that will change with due time. So do not look down on yourself, and also don't allow your confidence to just lie on your physical appearance, especially when you're young, because you're still growing. It's okay. That is why your confidence should really come from the person that you are and your mentality, because your body is always going to be forever changing. So I just wanted to say that really quick because I did not say it in the video. So I'd wear like boyish clothing. That doesn't make sense, boyish clothing, but what I mean by that is like baggy clothing to try and hide inside of it. And yeah, I just wasn't too confident. You know what that did? Yeah, when I would wear baggy clothing, I'd feel more comfortable in my skin because I didn't feel so exposed. But you know what that taught me to do? It taught me to hide myself to feel comfortable. It taught me to hide who I truly am so that I could feel comfortable around people. And that is so deteriorating to your confidence, it's not even funny, because it's telling yourself that as long as you keep a part of yourself hidden, then maybe you'll be accepted. Then maybe you can feel good about yourself, and that is so unhealthy. And at the time, I didn't know that. If you're going through something similar, I'm not saying, oh, like, you have to be feminine, like, don't be masculine. No. Be whatever you feel comfortable being, but ask yourself, what's the real reason I'm acting this way? Is it a cover-up? Is it a front for how I really feel? Am I insecure about something and that's why I'm acting this way? And once you like start figuring those things out about yourself and being like, okay, who really am I? You know, like you need to really just discover yourself. And once you do that, you will become more confident. Don't try and hide the person you are. Don't try and act differently just because you saw someone else acting a certain way. Be yourself, and I promise you, when you say to yourself, yes, this is who I am, I'm not afraid about it, like, I love myself, and I'm happy with who I am, you'll automatically be confident. And it's something that you have to like constantly instill in yourself, especially if you've been showing yourself the opposite for such a long time. But it is reversible. You still can do the inner work and discover yourself. It's totally possible. So that is all things about actually being confident, but we're gonna talk about how being confident literally changes your physical appearance. If you are going through that little awkward, ugly stage, or you don't really know what suits you, what looks good on you, all of those things are things that you can figure out with due time. But if you are not confident, you will physically be able to notice it on a person. by the way that they walk, the way that they talk, the way that they dress, everything. It will literally change the way that you look. If you are confident, you will start walking with your head held high. You will start walking looking at people in their eyes. You will not be walking like buried in your phone, shoulders slouched, and just walking like this along a crowd of people. If you are walking along a crowd of people just looking in your phone, shoulders down, back slouched, like this, that looks ridiculous. That looks like you don't even feel comfortable to even look up at the real world, okay? And I'm not judging you because I used to do that, okay? But just look at the difference. If you're walking like this, looking at people, you know, addressing people like they actually exist, just looking, walking through. I'm not saying you have to have like a crazy model walk or anything like that, but at least don't walk with your back slouched like this. If you walk a little bit like this, it shows like, okay, I like myself. Like, I actually want to walk with some like authority of my own body. That shows that you're actually like in control of your own body. You have authority and awareness of your own body. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but when you walk in a room, you're supposed to walk in the room like it's yours. Like you own it, basically. You're not supposed to walk through the room like you're an inconvenience to even be there in the first place. You're supposed to walk in the room like you've been here before. It's not even about I'm better than you, I got this, I got that, I'm all that, I'm cocky. It's not even in a cocky way. It's just to start training yourself to have more respect for your own self. That's the point in that, and like walking in a room like you own it. You probably don't. Let's be real. Like, you probably don't own anything, especially if you're young. That's okay, though. You own your own confidence. And you have to show that when you walk in a room so that people aren't like, who is this insecure person walking through the door? And just walking through a room like that, head held high, like you're confident in who you are, people will be instantly more attracted to you. That should not be your objective. For people to be like more attracted to you. It should not be like the main purpose of doing this, but it's just a fact that comes along with it. That's why I'm mentioning it. People will be automatically more attracted to you. Like, okay, I like a person that is confident because it might rub off on me. People want to be around positive people. People want to be around people that respect themselves, love themselves, because who doesn't want to be around that? We all know that the people that you surround yourself with affects you. It affects how you act. It affects the person that you are, the person that you're going to become. So unconsciously, we want that in our circle. That is just another thing that comes along with being confident. But yes, your posture, your body language. If you are talking to somebody and you're not confident, you're going to be talking quietly. You're going to look down, you're not going to give them eye contact. But if you're confident, you will give them eye contact, you will use your hands, you won't be afraid to take up space. When someone is talking to you and you're doing hand gestures like this, for example, I'm kind of overdoing it because that's just how I feel like I can explain myself better. It just helps me. But when a person is talking to you and they see you moving your hands around, they don't think to themselves, oh, they're taking up so much space when they move, like they're so confident. They're not thinking that. But in the back of their head, that is going to register that the way that you talk, it just comes off like you're sure of yourself, like you're not afraid to speak. Like I said, you don't want to be confident so that other people could think good of you. You want to do it for the person that you are. But I'm just saying, from a different perspective, that's how it looks. And from your perspective, when you're talking to people, when you're confident, when you become confident, you'll no longer feel like this person doesn't care what I'm saying. I'm talking too much. Am I saying the right thing? How do I even sound? No, you're going to feel free. You're going to feel free within yourself, confident within yourself to just express yourself however you want to and move freely however that your body wants you to move. And if you physically are moving like while you talk or physically just like not constraining your body, you're going to just be a happier person, honestly. You're not going to be constraining or hiding parts of yourself. Let's get started with the makeup because I got way into that. The mental state that you're in will always affect the way that you look. Not to be rude or judgmental, but just to put it in perspective for you guys, If you've ever seen someone that is going through like a mental health crisis, or they're going through some type of mental problem or trauma, you can usually tell by the way that they look. You can usually tell by the way that they do their makeup. Your mental state will almost always affect the way that you look. An example of this, again, not to like call people out or like, something like that, but a generic, more well-known example that I can think of to use is Britney Spears. When she was younger, she was doing her thing, and then when she got older, like all of this information came out about what she was actually going through, how she started to act and look. Obviously, you could see it had taken a toll on her. The way that your physical appearance look is affected by your mental state. So obviously, if you are a confident person and you genuinely see yourself that way, it's going to start affecting your mentality. Like I said, you don't want to allow yourself to become cocky or to become full of yourself. You do want to have like security in yourself, in the person that you are, in how you handle situations and how you react to problems. For example, if a person that is insecure gets like insulted in some kind of fashion, they will most likely react very aggressively. They will most likely be like, "What did you say about me? Say that again." Like, they will be more argumentative and more quick to react. But if a person that is more like secure in themselves were to get the same insult, they'll be like, "I'm not gonna let you get to me because that's not true. It's just simply not true. So why would I even give it the time of my day? Why would I give you the time of my day if I know what you're saying is completely false and it won't affect me?" Having confidence will affect the way that you are mentally, and it will affect the way that you handle your problems, your situations, conflict, everything. Also, if you're confident in the person that you are, you're not going to let people's remarks always get to you. Like I just said, you're going to know the person that you are. You're not going to let another person tell you who you are. Now, that doesn't mean that you're never going to let people get to you. It doesn't mean that you're never going to let problems get to you and affect your emotions, because we're human. That is normal. But you're not going to be so quick to take offense to everything every single time. Another thing about having confidence is that you're going to have confidence in yourself to not be afraid to be alone. This can mean relationship wise, you won't be afraid to be alone. It could mean family wise. If you have a toxic partner, a toxic family member, a confident person is going to say, "I believe in myself that I will be just fine without you. If you're not gonna add positivity into my life like I do for you, and you're just going to bring me down, you're gonna bring down my mental health, I am not going to keep you in my life." That is what a confident person will do. And they will not throw away a person like they are recyclable or like they are trash. But like I said, if you're not even trying to add positive into my life, if you're not even trying to be that for me, then there's no point in having you around. And that doesn't mean like you should only keep people around if you can benefit from them. That is very, very unhealthy. That's like being a person that just uses people. But if you're a person that you have genuine intentions, you have pure intentions, and you don't just want them to add positive to your life, you want to add to theirs as well, and all you're asking from that person is for them to want to do the same for you, that's fair. A person that is not confident will see a person making a very negative impact in their life, not even trying to do any positivity for them, like add into their life in any kind of way, and they will say, "I don't know if I'll be okay without them. I don't know if I could do this without them. Who will I be without them? I can't lose them." Do you see how that can affect your mental state? If you keep a person around that doesn't really care for you, only adds negativity into your life, do you see where that will leave your mental state at? As opposed to if you realize that someone is just no good for you and you cut them out of your life. That will end in a way better result than if you were not confident in your own self. That is one of the biggest reasons why it's so important to be confident in yourself, so that you're not afraid to be alone if it has to get to that point. Obviously, nobody wants that. Even if you do love yourself, even if you are confident in yourself, you probably still don't want to be alone. And that's normal, like I said, but it's being able to make those tough decisions for the betterment of your own self. Guys, I haven't done my eyeshadow in a very long time, so my skills are pretty rusty, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know if I used the right shades or not. I think so. I am going to complete my eyes, get started with my base, and then I'll be back when that is almost complete. Okay, you guys, so I know my makeup is looking a little bit harsh at the moment, but it's because I have to finish blending everything out, and after I'm gonna set it and it's gonna look good, so just trust the process. So the very last thing that I wanted to say about how confidence will change your physical appearance is, when you are confident, you will start thinking highly of yourself, so you will start treating yourself that way. What I mean by that is, once you are confident in yourself, you are actually going to start putting yourself in positions that show that you're confident about yourself. If you are just trying to get confident, find out what you like, find out yourself, you are going to start experimenting things. You are going to get out of your shell. You are going to get out of your comfort zone, and you're going to try things and see if it fits you, if you like it, if you want to do it again. Okay, this is for me, this isn't for me, or I'm definitely not going to do that again. But that's a part of like finding your confidence in who you are and what you like to do. Not being afraid to try out new things on yourself. For example, when I was just starting off to do makeup, I did not know what would look good on me. I would just see, okay, for example, not in a comparing way, but I would say, okay, what looks good on this person? Okay, I wonder if it would look good on me. So then I'd get it, I'd try it out. If it was for me, great. If it wasn't for me, it's fine. On to the next thing. But then if you never try it out, you're never going to find out what is for you and what's not for you. And after a lot of trial and error for me, I did find out what kind of makeup that suits me, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, and just practicing. But makeup is just a small example of that. The way you treat yourself when you're confident will also show in your diet, in whether you exercise or not, because if you are confident, you're going to love yourself, you're going to value yourself, so you're not just going to eat junk food all the time, you're not just going to make like the worst eating habits, eating choices all the time. You're gonna like be more mindful of it. The way that you treat yourself changes when you're confident, because you start treating yourself how you think you deserve. To get a little bit personal again, when I was not confident, I didn't care to experiment what was for me, what I liked, what I didn't like. I would just kind of like stay in my shell, not want to try anything new. But when I started becoming more confident, I didn't really care to try something out and not like it. I'd just be like, okay, well, if I don't like it, it just won't be done again, and that's okay. And then when you find something that you do like, it's worth it, because now it's like a skill, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a new thing that you've acquired about yourself. And also, there's gonna be people that judge you. There's gonna be people that want to put you down when you lift yourself up. And you need to beware of those kinds of people, because those kinds of people do not want to see you win. Those kinds of people want to keep you just as insecure as they are. And you cannot let them do that to you. You cannot let them like bring you down and keep you down. You need to improve. You need to evolve and figure yourself out, and figure out what the best version of you likes, what the best version of you is like. And you're never going to figure that out if you let people dictate what you should or shouldn't be doing. Unless, obviously, they are like a parent or like an older sibling or some person in your life that you know wants the best for you. Because there are some people in your life that say they want the best for you, but really they just care to put you down. Really, they're just haters. But there's other people that you could really tell and feel in your heart they do want the best for me and their advice is reasonable. I should listen. So there's a difference there, but you have to kind of master to know the difference, because if you don't, if you think that like fake people, the haters, are actually the ones giving you real advice, you're gonna dig your own self in a very deep hole. I would say being confident really genuinely does change your physical appearance, because you start glowing, you start believing in yourself, you start treating yourself better, you start figuring out how can I be the best version of myself, and that will show physically. And it will show physically once you do the mental work and once you do the inner work. Just to be like a little bit like silly and kind of open a little bit, because I did let you guys in a little bit in my personal experiences. But when I was younger, I would try out makeup, and when I look back on it, it did not look good. I do not like how I used to do my makeup and like the type of things I used to wear and things like that. But thanks to me experimenting then, now I feel more confident in what I do. Don't be afraid to figure yourself out. It's okay. Everybody has to figure themselves out. And the people that are too afraid to do so are just going to kind of stay stuck in that spot. So the makeup is all complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you could take something away from this video. I hope that you guys are going to be your most confident, most happiest, truest selves. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.